You're listening to the Confidence Coach Podcast, episode 82, getting crystal clear on what you want. Good morning, people. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Sasha Davis, and let's get crystal clear on what you want in your life. We always hear these dream big, set goals, take action. But how do we actually take the action? How do we break it down into smaller, sustainable baby steps? Because a lot of us go balls to the wall, 0 to 60, or we reach beyond what is possible for us at the moment. So I'm a firm believer in the sky's the limit, but you can't run a marathon successfully without taking the first step. You could probably show up to race day and just be like, all right, I'm here to wing it, which is totally fine. Like, I'm always winging things. But to make it easier on yourself, I want you just to take that first step. So I just want to talk a little bit about like getting crystal clear on what it is that you want. So right now, I want you to write down, get out a pen and paper or mentally take notes in your head, pull over if you're driving, do what you need to do. But I want you to write down what your top 3 to 5 goals are for the remainder of this year. What are they in your personal life, your family life, your business, what does it look like? What are your top 3 to 5 goals this year? And I'm going to challenge you to be super specific. It's funny because a lot of the people that I work with, a lot of the women that I work with, they don't like to be super specific because they feel like it's restrictive and it inhibits their progress, which is totally false. When you start to get crystal clear on what it is that you want, it's easier to take baby steps. Okay, so let me give you an example. And I know that you've probably heard this example before, so I'm going to give you a few different examples. So for example, if you are somebody who wants to work on your health and fitness, great. That could be a goal. But if you just write down, I want to improve my health and fitness, what's improvement? Because improvement to me is different than improvement to you. Improvement to me could be, I just want to work out for 30 minutes, 5 days every week. Where improvement to you may be, I want to lose 15 pounds this month, or I want to lose 15 pounds this year, or I want to be able to run a marathon by the end of September, or what does it look like? Be specific. We've talked about SMART goals before, and they have to be measurable. So how can you measure these specific goals so that you can break them down into action steps that are sustainable for you? So if you're somebody who wants to lose weight, that's great. But I want to challenge you to focus on the daily action of exercising and eating healthy versus just putting your progress on a number. Because sometimes I even feel like that sets us up for failure. You know, when we're like so focused on like, oh, I really need to lose 5 pounds. I really need to lose 5 pounds. And when you do lose those 5 pounds, how are you going to feel about losing those 5 pounds? Okay. Now let's take it to the other end or the other side of the spectrum. Let's talk about business stuff. What are your top goals for your business? A lot of times people say, well, I just want to make more money. I just want to make more sales. I just want to reach more people. Okay, that's great. How are you going to do it? How are you going to do it? Wishing, hoping, praying that people are going to Google you is not a strategy. I say this all the time, and it was a rude awakening for myself too, because I was like, oh yeah, I get my website up and running. People are just going to be like searching for me now. False. Nobody is searching for you unless you're a big name like Brene Brown, Rachel Hollis, Tony Robbins, Oprah. Nobody is going to be Googling you. Nobody. I promise you. Maybe a couple of people, which is probably going to be your parents or your close friends. They'll be like, oh, so-and-so has a website. I need to check it out. But other than that, you have to put yourself out there so that people know you exist and that you can solve their problem. So if you want to increase your sales this year, how are you going to do it? How are you going to increase your sales? There is several ways that you can do this. One of the ways is by upselling your current clients on a product or service that they could use to help them benefit them. So there's a lot of, you can increase your profits within your business by just sticking with your current clients and making sure that they have what they need, but you won't know what they need unless you ask them. So send out those emails, schedule those calls, set up times where you can interact with those people, your clients, your people, and see how you can be of service to them. All of us, I shouldn't say all of us, people like me are often scared to ask for help. So we wait until somebody comes to us and says, hey, are you looking for this? And then I'll say, yes, I was. Holy smokes. I wish I would have just asked you, but I'm really glad that you came to me first. We always think that we can solve the problem ourselves, or it's not that big of a deal, or I don't want to bug this person, or I don't want to bug that person. And you have to get out of your own way and talk to these people. Uncover their needs and how you can be of service. But you can't do that just by sitting behind a computer and wishing, hope, and praying. So what is your strategy to take care of your current clients? And if you've already taken care of your current clients and you've already, tapped that and everybody's good and blah, 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 how are you going to reach more people? Be specific. Are you going to go to a certain number of businesses every day and introduce yourself and give a pitch and leave your card? Are you going to cold call? Are you going to warm call? Are you going to set up an event? Are you going to go live on social media every day? Are you going to direct message people? How many people? What means are you going to do this? How are you going to do this? Are you going to ask for referrals from people? What are you going to do? Be specific. How are you going to reach these sales goals? And a lot of times we just say, oh, I'm just going to increase my sales. I'm just going to increase my sales, but I'm too scared to talk to people. And again, this is all about putting yourself out there. People will not know that you exist unless you tell them that you exist and that you have a solution to their problem. Think of where you were before you started your business. How did life feel? Was it hard? What were the frustrations? What were the things going through your head? Talk to that person. Talk to that person and tell them, hey, I have a solution to your problem. I want to help you. I know I've said this before and I've heard it on another podcast. I think it was a life coach school. They said, if you had the cure for cancer, you would walk up to everybody and be shaking them saying, I have the cure for cancer. I can help you. Now, is everybody going to be ready to receive that information? No. And that's okay. But those who need to hear it, want to hear it, will hear it. And they will be happy that you shook them and said, hey, I have a solution to your problem. Everybody else, they're just not ready, and that's okay. I always say that even though that you're getting out there and meeting people and somebody says no, or maybe that's not your ideal client, or you're like, ooh, I don't know if this blah, 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 whatever it is, as long as you're meeting people, interacting with people, and creating those relationships, you never know where your clients are going to come from. I get referrals all the time from people who I've just met online or met because I was walking around and I was like, hey, my name is Sasha and this is what I do. And then all of a sudden I'll get an email or I'll get a call or I'll get a new follower on Instagram and they'll say, hey, so-and-so referred you to me. I was like, holy smokes, that's awesome because so-and-so was not my ideal client, but they listened to what I had to say, and then they found somebody for me that would be fitting. Do you see what I mean here? So I treat every opportunity like an open door. It's just an invitation, like, hey, like, this is what I do. This is how I can help. And I don't be creepy about it. I'm not telling everybody, hey, you need to sign up for this. You need to sign up for this. No, I'm just openly sharing what it is that I have to offer and going from there. That is it. Okay. So be specific. How do you want to increase your sales? How do you want to increase your profit? What action steps are you going to take? What habits are you going to implement on a daily basis? A daily basis. They say it takes 21 days to make a habit. So what are you going to do on a daily basis to move the needle forward in your life and in your business? Health equals wealth, okay? So when you start to take care of yourself and all the things in your personal life, you will also start to see your business life excel, okay? When you're half-assing your health and your wellness, you're going to be half-assing your business. And I want to ask you this. I want to ask you this question. Would you hire you as an employee the way that you show up in your business right now? Would you hire yourself as an employee? And if you cannot immediately answer that with a hell yes, you have some problems you need to solve. You have some action steps you need to take. You have some habits that you need to implement to make yourself a better employee. Just because you're a business owner doesn't mean you just get to sit back and twiddle your thumbs and hemming and hawing and wishing and hoping and praying. No, you need to show up as your highest self today, not next year, not when you make six figures, not when you have X amount of clients. Today, you need to show up how you would as your highest self. This was a slap in the face for me a couple years ago because I was just kind of sitting back and thinking like, oh, well, if everything looks good online, people will just come to me. False. That is not going to happen. You have to show up in your everyday life and take action. If you aren't showing up for yourself, nobody else is going to show up for you. If you can't confidently show up in your personal life, in your business life, nobody is going to show up for you. It is all up to you. And just think about how you show confidence in your personal life and in your business life. Are you one of those people that's like, oh, well, yeah, I kind of work out a few days a week. Okay, sweet. Like that's not really that confident in your health and fitness. Or, oh yeah, I just have like this side gig, or I just have like this side business. Yeah, I'm just doing it as like a hobby. When really on the inside, you're like, I want to make this a big business. I want to impact the world. You're not being confident in your hopes and dreams and wants and goals and in your business. Treat it with confidence. Show people that you give a shit, and people will start to give a shit because you do. I hope this makes sense. I don't mean to get off on like a rant or anything, but I want you guys to be very, very specific on how you show up in your life every single day. And I want you to be specific on what action steps and what habits you are going to implement to achieve your top goals for this year. I'm a big believer in affirmations and vision boards, but those don't work unless you take action. They do not work unless you take action. They are there as subconscious reminders for you to keep moving forward every single day. They are there to help you get in the mindset of moving forward every single day. What are you doing to get outside of your comfort zone today? What are you doing to be 1% better today? What is it? Write it down. Write it down. What are your top 3 to 5 goals this year? Be as specific as possible. And what action steps are you going to take today to make it happen? Next, I want you to find an accountability partner. I don't care how it looks. Maybe you have a super supportive friend or a husband or a family member or maybe you're like me and your family members and husband aren't the best accountability partners for you. And it's not because of them. It's because of you. My husband is a great accountability partner, but for some reason, when he tells me to do something, I go off the deep end and I spiral and I do the exact opposite of what it is that I said I was going to do. I rebel. I rebel against anybody in my family life or my husband. I would say, Will, make sure that I work out today. Make sure I get up at 5 a.m. And he'd be like, 5 a.m. comes around. Hey, honey, it's time to get up. I'm like, you leave me alone. Don't touch me. I'll get up when I want to get up. But if I have somebody else who I hired or who is part of a group that I'm in or a mastermind or however that looks, and I have them text me and say, Sasha, it's 5 a.m. No excuses. Get up. I'm like, God damn it. Okay, I'm up. And it's just a whole different level of responsibility, and it's pushing yourself to be accountable to how you show up. For whatever reason, I struggle with inward accountability. It's something that I've been continuously working on, continuously improving, and I'm a hell of a lot better than I was before, but it's still a daily practice. And so I have to create these strategies to hold myself accountable. So I invest in programs, I invest in accountability partners, I have these structures and strategies in place for me to check in with people so that I am showing up as my best self every single day. So that I'm not just hiding in some corner saying, oh, talking to people is hard, fitness is hard, putting myself out there is hard, sales are hard, making money is hard. Bullshit. All of that is bullshit. And it's not going to get easier until you just get off your ass and do it. You have to do it. Practice makes progress. Practice makes progress. You will never get better if you don't start. There was a meme that I shared a while ago on my Instagram, and if you don't follow me, I encourage you to do so over at sasha.davis, SAUSHA.DAVIS on Instagram. And it said something along the lines of, your first podcast is going to suck. Your first run is going to suck. Your first live video is going to suck. Your first everything is going to suck. But you know what? If you keep showing up and failing forward, you will get better. You will get better. We learn every time we go out there and put ourselves out there. I just held a conference this last weekend. My first big conference. We had over 70 people show up. We almost maxed the place out. We only had 80 seats, and I think we had 77 people there. 77 people, and there was only 80 seats, you guys. My first conference. Anything is possible when you take action. But I learned a lot. I didn't get stuck on the, oh my gosh, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this. I just did it. Was I nervous? Oh, hell yeah. I had to do my welcome speech. I thought I was going to cry through the whole thing because I just could not believe what was happening. I said, I cannot believe that I created this. I cannot, it was a big moment for me. And I got really nervous because I didn't think that I was going to be able to keep it together. And so I know for next time that, hey, if I still, for my next conference this fall, if I cry, nobody cares. It's fine. And it's okay to be nervous. It's okay to not have everything run perfectly. I learned a lot from that day. The feedback was amazing. Maybe I'll share some of that stuff on the next episode, but there was 3 main things that people wanted to see for the next conference. And believe it or not, they wanted to be there longer. A lot of people said the timing was just right, but a lot of people also said that they would have enjoyed a longer conference. They wanted more of what we had, and I could not believe it. I was just flabbergasted. I was like, seriously, people want to sit here for more than 3 hours and listen to what we have to say? And the answer is yes, they do. And they also want itineraries, which I would have never thought of because I'm not an itinerary type of person, but a lot of people are. So that has been noted for the next conference. You live and you learn. Every day is a learning experience. And the other thing that they wanted to learn or wanted to see more of was group interaction. And I thought we had a little bit of interaction. I was pushing people out of their comfort zone a little bit. I had a couple people come up on stage and do like an impromptu public speech. And we, had people stand up and share their fears and things like that. And we had people journal their goals and do some super brain yoga and just some things that were kind of outside of their comfort zone. But people wanted more outside their comfort zone, which I found fascinating. I was like, hell yes, these are my people. And so I've written all of these suggestions down, and you bet your sweet ass the next conference is going to be 10 times better. 10 times better. It is just going to be awesome. But I would never know these things unless I just went out there and did them, right? Everything is just a learning experience. But I had to get really crystal clear on what I wanted it to look like. And then I couldn't get caught up on perfectionism. I just had to do it instead of thinking about doing it. There's a difference. We're really good at creating to-do lists. We're not so great at taking action. So my suggestion is writing down your daily action steps, breaking your goals down into sustainable, easy, teeny tiny baby steps, having somebody to hold you accountable, somebody to check in with that will say, hey, did you do the thing that you said you were going to do? And if not, why? Why? Are you being lazy? Are you being scared? What is it? Make it happen. If you are in the same spot a year from now, you are not going to be happy with yourself. I guarantee it. So what are you going to do today to move the needle forward? Okay. If you could wave a magic wand, what would life look like? Now go do those things to make it happen. All right, guys. I really enjoyed this episode. I love talking about your goals and dreaming big and just taking action and being really super specific on what it is you want in life and how you want to wake up every day and creating the life that you want to live, that you're happy to live, that you're proud of. This stuff lights me up. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode as much as I did. If you did, I encourage you to share this episode on social media. Tag me at sasha.davis, put it up in your stories, leave a 5-star review. I would seriously appreciate all of it. All of it. I love it all. And I read all your reviews and it makes me very happy. All right, guys, have a kick-ass day. We'll catch you on the flip side.